And we're back. Fred, thank you, man. That's a beautiful song.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it.
Now, it starts with that tune. I mean, you can clearly hear that old Christmas tree. Dun dun. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
Yes.
I can't
Sure.
play music.
Sure. Sure.
um, and what I know about the song itself is it's a Christmas tree carol whose earliest lyrics date back to the mid 16th century. So it's an old tune.
Yes.
Although I'm sure that it has morphed over a period of time. But it's a beautiful song that pays tribute to the Christmas tree.
Correct.
And now this song here, it has that holiday flair, but it's very much jazz. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And actually, as a jazz musician, there's really, in my mind, when I think about playing that tune, again, kind of going back to the jazz education side of things, is that how many of us have heard the Charlie Brown Christmas and Vince Guaraldi? And so, in a way, if you want to say it, that's my nod and tribute to the years that I grew up listening, and obviously it has led to kind of the way I play piano is listening to Vince Guaraldi play that tune. So when we decided to put it on the album, I asked Frank and Amy, I said, so how do you want to do it? And they said, well, is there any other way? You got to swing it, you know? So
Yeah, yeah.
I hope that Vince is up there saying, yeah, you swung it nicely.
Yeah, because I mean it has that upbeat tempo to it, you know? That's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
So, Fred, let's talk a little bit then about the other songs that you have on this album. What are they?
We start out with Winter Wonderland. And then the second tune is the one that you just played, Oh Christmas Tree. And we do Silver Bells and Silent Night, Let It Snow, The Christmas Song, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I believe that covers them all.
They're all beautiful, well-known holiday, music and songs.
Yes, and we tried to do what the trio does. I mean, that is one of the things that I pride every iteration of the trio that we've ever had, is that each person that comes into the group brings their own personality, and that's what fuels this music. Most likely when we go out and play live shows in support of the release of the Christmas album, that half those songs won't be played the way they are on the album. For instance, White Christmas, we did it as a samba. Depending on the day and the crowd and how things are going, we might play it totally as maybe a salsa tune. I mean, it just depends on the feeling, and that's the great part about surrounding yourself with such great musicians and everybody understanding the history of the music and then wanting to constantly push things forward. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Strap in and go along for the ride.
Now, so that's great because, they're not all going to have, like the same style or flair of music. They're all individual. So you listen to one and then the next one will be a totally different, beat and flair to it.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Because I mean, I was listening, for example, Christmas Tree, and then I was listening also to the other one that we're going to play here shortly, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and they're all individual. I don't know what's the best word to say it, but for example, I'll Be Home for Christmas has that a little bit more of the holiday with that jazz flair, and it's a slower pace of music too than the Christmas Tree that we just listened to, I think. And which is beautiful because I like to listen to music that is individual and separate from what I just heard.
Sure. Well, thank you. I again, the way that we approach these songs, for me, obviously being the main instrument as far as I've got to play the melody, I'm handling the chords. Some of this is me, but if I say to Frank, hey, why don't you set up this next song? I don't know where he's going to put it. He might do it really slow. He might do it fast. So some of these are more about my feeling of how I think the tunes feel. For instance, if we take the tune that you're going to play next, I'll Be Home for Christmas. It's done in a really slow, melancholy style. And knowing the words, I think you might know why I played it that slow, because especially if you really do know the words, it's not necessarily that the person is going to be home for Christmas.
Right.
So to play it in that style to me is my interpretation of what the words means and what I feel the song should be. Then we take White Christmas, for instance, that we were just talking about. A lot of folks do that song more of as a slower type piece. You know, I guess what Bing Crosby was the first one that did it. He did it more of a kind of a slower ballad type thing. Whereas we did it, I wanted to approach it from like a little kid waking up and there's snow on Christmas Day. So we did it as a samba. So it's more of a joyous type thing. So yeah, just our interpretations of what the words mean to us. And again, in that moment, next moment, it might not be that way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that I really love about it. Now, since we're both military, I'll just point out a little bit about the story of I'll Be Home for Christmas, is that the song is sung from the point of view of an overseas soldier during World War II.
Yes.
And he's writing a letter to his family. And in the message, he tells the family that he will be coming home and to prepare the holidays for him, including requests for snow and the mistletoe and presents on the tree. And the song ends on that melancholy note that you were talking about, with the soldier saying, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. And, you know, I mean, we've both been overseas during the holiday. And I can feel that you're really conveying your emotions. I mean, like you've lived through, maybe not through the part where you were in a war looking to come home, but at least in the fact that you were overseas during the holiday, and you can relate to being away from the family and yearning to come home for the holiday.
Well, good. I'm glad that feeling comes through, because that's as a musician, that's the ultimate compliment. I actually, when I first started playing that song that way, I was on a performance and there were a lot of military folks in the audience, and I remembered the times of having and being away from family. And when I finished playing the song for the first time in as slow as possible way, and I looked out in the audience and I saw tears, and I said, "Yep, okay, this is the way I have to do this." This, to me, that's what the song represents. So yes,
right.
I'm glad that you brought that up. Thank you.
Well, you know what? Before I forget, because I'm really getting into this talk here with you, but before I forget, let's play that song.
Great.
All right, here's Fred Hughes then with I'll Be Home for Christmas. Man, oh man, it's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Pat. Thank you.
Yeah, I love this. So the full length album then comes out. It's going to be available for pre order